You are now listening to Out of the Blank.
Welcome to another episode of Out of the Blank podcast. I'm here with Jayce.
What is up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what do you do professionally?
Well, let's see. I just turned 31.
Congratulations.
Next week, thank you. I didn't think that would ever happen, honestly. Next week, I will be married 8 years, got 2 kids, and professionally, I am a professional phone answerer, I guess you can call it. I answer phones for different hospitals and doctors' offices and businesses through Canada, the United States. And
Oh, so you're the person my mom deals with when I ask her to make me a doctor's appointment, because even though technically want all the rights to be an adult, somebody's going to make that fucking appointment.
Yep.
I actually experienced today. I was on the phone for 3 hours with Maryland. I mean, we live pretty close. I'm in Ocean City, Maryland. You're in Delaware.
Yeah.
So I was on Maryland Health Connections website, and I was on a phone call, and I listened to this shit. Okay. They go, your wait time is going to be 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. And then they're playing this music, and I'm not going to lie, it was some pretty new stuff. It wasn't the classic elevator music. I was listening to it. I was like, I could get into this. And then next thing you know, it would pop up again a couple minutes later. Your current wait time is 15 minutes. I'm like, hold the phone. I went back.
What happened?
They're like, would you like to leave a callback number, or a number we can call you back at? And, press 1. I pressed 1. I gave them my, brief summary of everything, and then also what my number is to call me back. Ended the call. I call back 30 minutes later. I'm like, all right, that's been longer than 15 minutes. I call back. They go, your current wait time is 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm like, yep. Holy shit. It is Monday morning. I'm right at 8 a.m. How the hell are people already up calling?
It happens, man. It happens. And I don't know what it is in this world that everybody has to call the minute before a doctor's office opens.
I do all the time.
So our phones go off, right? So we're, whatever doctor's office, this is Jason, can I help you? And they're like, yeah, so I want to make an appointment. And I go, well, the way they have our system set up is we can't make an appointment for you. We could take a message or you can call back. And they go, oh, I'll hold. No, that wasn't an option. All right. It's either I could take a message or you can call back. Oh, no, I'll hold. No. Again, you're not listening, ma'am. You can either call back in a whole 15 seconds when they open the doors, or I could take a message. I want to speak to your supervisor. That's cool. Hang on. Hello?
Yeah, exactly.
You still can't make an appointment until 8 o'clock.
How many times do I never ask for a supervisor. I mostly just try and work with them. I'm like, look, man, like I try and be the humanistic side, kind of relate to them. We think I want to look up, honestly, the statistic of people that do the IT company and like try and fix people's modems and their internet. And how many of them go up to the top of their building and just look off the edge like, I want to fucking jump right now.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing is, if somebody curses at you, like a customer curses at you while you're on the line, that gives you the immediate response to hang up. That it gives you the ability to. Before, you don't have that ability. If they're normal with you on a conversation, doesn't matter if they're just not getting it, you can never hang up. But as soon as they use language, it's over with.
I had a lady today that called because I couldn't help her with something. And technically, we are not allowed to actually access their account. We can take a message. We can, make an appointment for them. We can do whatever. But we are not allowed to access their account because it'll show in the history. And then they'll go, well, why was the representative accessing their account? So we don't do it. We have the ability, but we don't. And this lady called and she goes, just do it. Ma'am, I can't and I won't. So she starts screaming. I said, this would go a lot better if you didn't yell at me. All right, let's start off by saying that. Stop treating people on the phone like shit, like we're lower than you, because we're definitely not. We're here to do a job. We're trying to make your life a little bit easier. And yet you want to sit there and yell and scream at us. And it's just, doesn't help.
I think it's because we hide behind a device, so it's easier to have more balls, I guess you would say. Behind a screen or something, it's easier to say something rather than when you're looking at the person face to face. But I tell people the same way I act on the phone is the same way I'll act to you in person if you piss me off enough. I never get to a point where I'm talking to someone on the phone. I'm like, bro, the only time I've ever cursed at somebody that was on the phone was when I was getting my TV fixed and I was on hold for 3 hours. I wasted my whole Saturday. And literally, I got an answer. I was listening to nothing but the shittiest music possible. I got an answer. They said, "Thank you for waiting. How may I help you today?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck, you're a real person." Hung up. I said, no. He didn't even give me a shot. He didn't even understand the stress from it. Just immediately click, gone. And I was like, why? So I waited for I called again. I waited for him to come back, and I ended up getting a new person. I was like, I was on a number earlier. He just told me his name. And then I said something and then, it led to that. And they're like, okay, would you want to wait for him to be available again? I'm like, how long is that going to take? Like 45 minutes. I was like,
45 minutes.
Screw it. I'll wait the 45. I ended up getting picked up in 10. I talked to him. I said, I want to apologize. I didn't mean to curse at you. I was just happy I finally got a real person. He goes, oh, yeah, that's understandable. I'm like, then why you hang up on me? He goes, because I didn't feel like dealing with it. I was like, okay.
Fair enough. Be honest.
Hey, I got my TV fixed,
So not only do I answer phones for a living, but I make commercials for different businesses and I get them out to radio stations.
Any commercials I'm aware of?
Maybe not. I mean, there's quite a few of them. There's some from Ohio. There's some in Arizona. There's some.
How long have you been in radio?
5+ years.
Okay. How long have you been in radio? Is that just in this area in Delaware?
Yeah.
All right. So you might know my dad. My dad's been in radio for over 40 something years. My dad's Skip Dixon.
I don't recognize the name.
He's managed Froggy 99.9, 93.5, 98.1. My mom's on the radio at 98.1. My whole family's broadcasting. It's weird. I picked up, podcasting, right?
Yeah. Well, listen, it's a bug, man. I love it. I love what I do. And listen, I respect the fact that everybody has a voice. I respect the fact that everybody has a podcast. I dig it, man. I try to show support wherever I can.
So you're doing here. That's
what I'm doing here. And I enjoy the experience with people. Maybe somebody is sitting there listening to this right now going, okay, what are these guys actually going to talk about? We're going to get to it. But, there's the building rapport part. And it's building rapport with every listener listening everywhere. Might be sitting at work doing what I do with one little earbud hiding under a headset, with the cord going down your shirt plugged into your phone so you can listen to something other than the people around you breathing.
Or just having headphones and being like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'd rather just have these plugged into nothing. So where people just won't even bring up a question. See, it's just like a movie as well. There's an introduction. There's a leading point to get to the actual story. You can't just skip right into it because then you won't have the full capture of it. The funny thing is with my podcast is there's no specific topics. The conversation can go anywhere. So 1 minute we could be talking about, this, I want to ask you about like with broadcasting, for instance, do you have your broadcaster voice? A lot of people try and do one. I know a few people, they go, you're listening to 93.5 The Beach. Like they do that whole thing. I'm like, how hard is that to keep? I mean, it's easy to do between songs, but imagine trying to keep that 24/7.
Can't do it. No, I think it's much easier to sit there and be real because you probably know the guy, Gary John, Eagle 97.7 Middays. How many times have I sat there and listened to somebody's voice and then you hear them out at the grocery store broadcasting live and you go, holy crap, you're really the guy. You're the guy I've been listening to for all these years.
And then they literally go to pay for something in their normal voice. They're like, let me get a Coke and a drink or something. And you're like, whoa, what happened to your broadcasting voice? And it was like, it's weird because I can always tell when I listen on the radio, I can tell if they're using a broadcasting voice or they're being natural. Like that was the main decision I know a lot of podcasters try and do too. They try and just like maybe cover up their voice, which everyone tries to do when they get on camera. It's the same thing when you call somebody, you want to sound a little bit more assertive or clear. You want to be like for me on a phone call, instead of being, hey, what's up? If I'm calling somebody, I'd be like, hi, I'd like to talk to you. I have a little bit of a thing. But when I was doing this, I was like, it's just talking. You know how long it would be or how hard it would be to try and keep a broadcasting voice in an 1.5 to 2 hour conversation?
Oh, yeah. It's not easy. It is not easy. And that's why, I mean, I think at first I try to. I think at first I try to make my voice sound more robust. Try to make myself sound louder. Doing a show with co-host, I tried to make sure my voice was heard amongst theirs. And, you know, why? Why do I have to be so close to a microphone? Why do I have to be so loud? At the end of the day, I'm going to get my time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm going to get to say what I want. At the end of the day, I'm going to get to share the story that I want.
What's some of the funniest incidents or types of experiences you've had doing radio?
I gave 2 fake names for birthday shout outs.
On purpose?
Yes.
Oh my God. Like just because you didn't have any. So you're like, I'm going to give out that happens a lot though.
Oh no, like this went out totally. We were doing a morning radio show that was on the internet, so it was unedited. I'm pulling the video up right now, so you'll be able to hear it. And it was one of the funniest things that have ever happened on the show. And we do random stupid things to each other just for the fun of it.
I used to get birthday shout outs all the time because my parents worked in radio. So I'd be like, my birthday is December 31st. So if they were working, they'd be like, shout out to my son, playing this song for you. Back in the day when I used to have the little CD player on the hip, walking to the bus stop or something, I'd be off school, relaxing at home, and I would hear 9 in the Afternoon by Panic at the Disco. And like my parents would shout that one out to me. I was like, that's so cool. But like I've been all around every single radio studio. I mean, I used to go all the time as a kid back when we didn't have a babysitter. So it was like, all right, you're coming to work with me at 5 o'clock in the morning, toss a pillow in the car. I'm like 3 or 4 years old. Next thing I know, I'm just sitting in the meeting room watching Mortal Kombat, eating chips and drinking soda. Like it was enjoyable because I got to hop, on the mic. I got to have this whole experience, which I was just normalized to. So when people talk about like, what's it like on radio? I'm like, what you're
talking to everyone. You're trying to enjoy it. Would you like to hear these 2 fake names I gave?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Are these real names?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chinese guy, one hung low.
To Dixie, Normus, and Hugh Janis. Here's your birthday
wait.
song.
I want you to stop. All right. I know you're blonde. All right. And I get this. I understand.
Dixie, Normus, and Hugh Janis were the names I gave.
You didn't go too far with that one, did you?
No.
You didn't even bother like Clark Clarkinson. You could have did something like that where it seems reasonable, but you straight up went for the pun.
I did. And it's like, Hugh Jasburn. It's the fun ones, man. You got to have fun with it.
Is there a Barry Seinfeld there? A Barry Deinfeld, I think?
We used to have an elderly lady who joined our show. And she joined the morning show because her husband had died. Okay, so she wanted something to do, with her friends and family or with the people she considered friends. That was, I guess, a little bit more exciting in her life.
Did she have a knitting hour on the radio?
No, she didn't. She probably shouldn't know.
Grandma's giving out information on knitting. Tune in at 12 o'clock. Grandma's telling you how to knit the nicest motherfucking sweater you've ever had in your entire life.
So listen what I did on this one.
Hey, Janet, what might a man do for you on a first date that would make you think he was husband material?
Not die.
Yep.
Listen, I want to have fun. Not only that, but we sent the host of the show, his name is Eric Koppelman. We sent him a Boss's Date gift from ruindays.com. It was a spring-loaded confetti wiener bomb. So he opened the top. Yeah, he opens the top of it, and confetti wieners flew all over the studio. It was amazing. It was fantastic.
So do you love these little bits that you have, like that you remember? I mean, you're still in radio now, right?
Yeah, I still do a weekly show.
Because I know so many people that are in radio for so long, and then when they finally get out of it, they want nothing to do with the business. I was like, but you like those times. Like my dad, ever since I was a little kid, I've known him to have a Kiss shoulder tattoo. And I was like, so you're a Kiss fan. I get it. So like, tell me the story. Like, what, you're my age, you went and got a tattoo and it was Kiss? And he goes, no, I did it on the radio. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, some dude came in that was a tattoo artist and he was giving out tattoos. And I did one on the radio and it took 4 hours and I was in an extreme amount of pain and I was screaming
for the
on
bit.
He was trying so hard to not scream on the radio. He's sitting there like, you're listening. We're about to play some Lincoln and he's like trying to it was funny because, like he had to move around because when my dad talks, he's very, he has a broadcast voice himself, and he does DJ at night. So it seemed like with music was all around my whole lifestyle, growing up, broadcasting, all this type of stuff, where eventually I was just like, maybe I want to start a podcast. And they're like, why don't we offer you your own radio segment instead of podcasting? Back when I first started, I was like, no, I want to do this on my own. I want to make sure that there's no restrictions or guidelines I have to go off of, because if I work for a network, I'm going to have a set of list things I need to make sure I hit, make sure I'll listen to radio now. I'll pick up key things just from learning from podcasting. I'll be listening. I'm like, oh, he's doing it. He's lining himself up for an advertisement. He's lining himself up for something. Oh, he's doing this.
The same way. I am the exact same way.
You can tell the feud too. If someone is if it's like a talk show in the morning, like my mom works for one, I listen to it. I'm sitting there listening. I'm like, oh, he doesn't want to talk about this topic. He's trying to go off of it, but this guy won't let it go. I'm like, oh, you can tell.
What is your opinion on host being very personal?
Depends how far personal they go.
Okay, so I'll give you 2 examples. Number 1, Elvis Duran, national, huge radio show in the morning. I'm sure you've heard of him. Recently shared his experience in getting married.
Okay.
Cool. It's a great experience. Okay. Then there is WSTW. I'm not sure if I want to share his name. When he listens to this, because I'll share this with him, he'll know who I'm talking about. Shared his experience with his divorce.
I think when they're getting personal about themselves, that's okay. But I know there's a point when it comes to, at one point when I was a kid, there was a guy that got fired from my dad's station because he was just doing nothing but when the breaks would come in music, when you're supposed to be like, hey, how's everyone doing out there? You get a call, listener, do whatever your thing is to kind of fill a little bit of time, maybe just have a little bit of camaraderie, because you can't just play constant songs over and over and over again without people being like, can somebody say something to know that I'm not just listening to ads and music the whole time? And he would just sit there and complain about this girlfriend he had and how it's everything's bad. It was always just complaining about his life. He doesn't have this, doesn't have that. And they ended up firing him. That's when I think it's a little bit too far, when you start draining the audience. See, if you do it in a way yeah, this happened, or crack a joke out of it, or find I guess something, but don't stick on it the whole time. When you stick on it the whole time, you truly miss the whole aspect of trying to create the positive vibe you want people to hear from your music.
Positive vibe, the rapport you can build with people, just everything. Long gone, in my opinion, are the days of radio personalities, people that would, have to stand up in the studio and almost yell into the microphone because they were so wild.
My dad would do that. He would get just really passionate about something. He'd get a listener, and then my dad would be like, I've been sitting down all day. He'd just throw the stool out from around him. I'm just a kid watching him. He's just standing up. And the way he talks, he does like things I do with my hands, talk like that. And it's funny because everyone, constant listeners. I mean, my dad was, if I mentioned his name around Ocean City, Maryland, or anywhere in this area, that somebody would know who he was. He's been out of the game for a little while now. He does another station out in Virginia. It's 107.7, or it's something with country music. He went a whole different route than the whole reggae and rock way. But he had so many stories. I remember getting free concert tickets all the time when I was a kid, but I was never old enough to go. I would always get souvenirs from signed people. My dad met Wee Man. I got a poster in my room, and it says Rob, keep rocking. And it's a picture of my dad with Wee Man and stuff. And I was like, this is awesome. Is this what radio is? He goes, you remember all the cool stuff you used to do as a kid? And I was like, yeah. He goes, a lot of people don't get to do that. I was like, oh.
No, they don't. No, they don't get the experience. They don't get to go out. They don't get to enjoy music. If you look behind me, there's all kinds of banners and stuff like that from all the concerts that I've been to, stations that I used to work for.
I keep looking at the Harry Potter one off to the side.
That's my wife. Don't worry about that bullshit. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Sorry, potheads or potters or whatever you call yourselves. But other where am I? That concert T-shirt. There's more concert T-shirts and station shirts that I've gotten. That's
from giveaways too. Cause I mean,
I've had the best experience with concerts. You would never believe. I went to.
Tell me your most impactful one.
My most impactful one. I went the day before my birthday. My wife bought me tickets to go to Rock Allegiance for my birthday. That has been my birthday gift for the last 3 or 4 years. Okay. And I went the day before. And since my wife couldn't go, she gave the tickets to her sister and her sister's, like best girlfriend or whatever, and my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law wasn't a fan of it last year. He just wanted to go to get out of the house. Whatever. Go. I don't care. I walked past security getting pat down, and I turn back to my sister and I say, this is probably one of the coolest birthday gifts I will ever get. And I walk past another security guy and I go to shake his hand like, hey, man, in case you don't hear it enough, thank you for what you do. Just kind of, building that little rapport with security just to be like, hey, people are looking out for you. People are always going to be there to help you. Some of them are going to be dicks, but I'm not going to be one of them. Well, as I extend my hand to go shake his hand, he wraps a pit bass around my wrist and he goes, happy birthday, shut your mouth.
Oh my God.
So I got to go into the pit whenever I wanted. It was, I guess, a semi part of my birthday gift from security. And on that day, there were 3 stages. There was an outside stage and 2 inside stages. So at one of the outside stages, the artist jumped into the crowd. Security jumps the rail to go, protect him. And he has the microphone cord and he's just pulling it with him and pulling it and, clotheslining people all the way around. While security falls, the performer falls, I grab the security by his belt to go pick him back up. And it's the guy that put the pit pass on me. And he pats me on the back, gives me a hug, and he's like, hey, thanks, man. You were right. You're not one of those dicks. So later on, Five Finger Death Punch is coming. And then you had Breaking Benjamin were performing that night. So I get on the left side waiting for that stage to open up. And I said to somebody, I said, look, only thing I've ever wanted to do in my life was crowd surf. Now, listen, I'm not a small guy. I'm a pretty heavy, fat ass.
Hey, I watched some dude at a concert at Secrets get picked up in a wheelchair. They had a bunch of people pick that dude up, and he was having the time of his life until security was like, all right, let's not have this happen.
Yeah, let's put him down. So I went crowd surfing. Very first time, only time I'll ever do it. It's part of my bucket list. Listen, you know how much it sucks when you're sitting there trying to enjoy a concert. You're jumping up and down. Your hands are going. You're enjoying the music, and some asshole hits you from behind.
Dude, all the time. Every concert I have ever been to, I've been to a lot. I have gotten beer spilled on me ever since I was a fucking kid. It is a religion now. At this point, I'm like, just do it now so it doesn't happen later.
9 o'clock in the morning, just dump a beer on you.
We're right here, man. We just got in. Nobody's wasted yet. Nobody, go buy a beer and toss it on me real quick.
So I went crowd surfing during Breaking Benjamin. Not that it was the band that mattered at that point. It was I wanted to go crowd surfing. The minute I crossed the rail and I got down, security grabs a hold of me and they're like, okay, walk around this way. And the guy that grabbed me was the guy that put the pit pass on me. So it was like he was watching me all night. I was watching him all night. It was just one of those really cool experiences. And I never want to go crowd surfing again.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, mine probably not so popular with bands when it comes to most impactful first concert or just memorable concert. I met the singer from Slightly Stoopid. It was I don't know if you know who Slightly Stoopid is. They were signed on by Sublime back in high school. They're literally 2 like giant reggae punk type people like Sublime music. But they're wrestling coaches for a high school. So imagine those are your fucking coaches is a freaking famous weed band. But Slightly Stoopid. So it was on my birthday on New Year's Eve, and they played 3 hours past when they're supposed to stop at midnight when the ball dropped, and they played till 3 o'clock in the morning. And like eventually everybody's like, "Hold!" I'm just sitting there. I'm 16 years old. I'm like, this is the time of my fucking life. And the singer jumps down. Everybody's getting out of there. They're like, holy shit! Like it's snowing outside. We need to get home. It's New Year's Eve. We need, it's New Year's Day. The next day, everybody's kind of hammered. Just wants to get out of there. Everyone leaves, and I'm just still standing around. Like I saw him flick a guitar pick where is this guitar
Yep.
pick? I'm like looking all around. He jumps down off stage, runs up to me, and goes, "What's up, dude?" I'm like, "Holy shit." And he goes, "Yo, how old are you, man?" I'm like, 16 years old. And he goes, "Dude, you're the youngest person here." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Everybody's in like their 20s or 30s." And he goes, "Dude," he goes, "What are you doing out right now?" I'm like, "Dude, it's my birthday." He goes, "It's your fucking birthday? Guess what I got for you?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Birthday bowl." And I'm like, "What?"
Oh,
He pulls
nice.
out a bowl and hands it to me. I'm like, okay, 2 decisions went on in my life. 1, I dabbled in weed at the time, my high school years. 2, it's the singer to Slightly Fucking Stupid. I'm smoking weed if I'm going to smoke weed with Slightly Stupid. So I hit it and he goes, "Yeah, man, it was good seeing you." And like, we just chat for a couple minutes. The next thing you know, it was like I had this connection with the band, more like whenever I hear their music now, I'm like, that's a good fucking guy. That's an actual real dude. He's not like some asshole you meet celebrity and you're like, "I can't believe I loved you. You're a terrible person." No, he was an amazing guy. Miles, man. I mean, no, it was Kyle, not Miles. I always get those two mixed up. They look so similar, but I've met the Expendables. I've met Pepper. I've met 311. I've met all these bands. I played Mortal Kombat on the Expendables tour bus. They came to Secrets, and then they remembered me later when I was at a concert, and I had felt like a connection with the singer because I was the only one that knew their new album. So everyone wanted to hear their old shit, and they're playing and this their new songs, and I'm singing every single word. The dude flicked me 3 guitar picks. I only caught the last one. Then he jumped down, took pictures with me, and remembered me from a year before where he met me at a concert.
I've had some of the best luck at concerts. Not only did I get that pit pass, I think that year I also caught the drumsticks for Buck Cherry.
Hell yeah.
And then the following month, I won tickets on the radio to go see Elle King in Philadelphia, where I also caught her set list.
Whenever I went to one of my dad's concerts, because my dad on the side did a Kiss tribute band called Rock Bottom. They played Ram's Head Live in Baltimore. He used to play like all these huge spots. And it was weird because I was a kid wearing a Kiss t-shirt. I didn't really know who Kiss was at the time. But I'd be sitting there, I'm like, "Yeah, my dad's the cat." And they're like, "Oh, cool. Like and they would know him. And it would be funny because I remember he would break his sticks every night. And because he hits the drums too damn hard. But I remember he'd be like, "I bought a Rock Band drum set," and he took my Rock Band drumsticks. And next thing I know, I'm like seeing him on stage with my Rock Band drumsticks. Those are my fucking Rock Band drumsticks.
That reminds me when I first got started doing internet radio and making commercials and little bumpers and sweepers. I know you know the vernacular.
Mm-hmm.
I started with a Rock Band microphone because it was USB. It connected. The headphones that I had weren't these nice ones that I have. They were regular, like 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks that you stick in. And I used to use the cover. I used to have a cover against my back wall so that I could have soundproofing.
Yeah, I think we all have those little tricks at the start. I mean, these headphones I'm wearing right now are my freaking Xbox headphones that the mic doesn't work. So I just was like, "Hey, screw it. They work. I might as well plug them in my computer."
They do the job, man. They do the job.
And it's funny because nobody will know because it's only audio.
For now.
Yeah, for now. I wanted to get video later down the road, but I was like, it was my idea. Like, let me do the first 100 or 200 and see where that takes it. If I actually stick with it or if I end up giving up on it. And then I ended up sticking with it. And it's been, I mean, I've only gained so much knowledge from it. It's a whole different experience just having conversations with people. I mean,
and I have to tell you, it may not mean anything coming from me, but I'm actually really proud of you.
oh, thank you.
And let me tell you why. I always had this idea of I would just want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Because you talk to these people all day. At least I talk to these people all day who seem so ungrateful and just so dramatic and, "Oh, I got to make an appointment," or, "Oh, I got to do this," or, "This is wrong." Or I just want to talk to somebody and just talk to them, pick their brain for a little bit. It doesn't even have to be about anything in particular. I just want to talk to a normal person. And man, you're doing it. I listened to like 6 or 7 of your episodes last night. You're doing amazing. And I want to let you know how well you are doing. So
I appreciate it, man. That does actually mean a lot. Cause I mean, I tell people like, you might look at all my episodes, you might look at the people who are on and think, oh, I don't have the degrees, I don't have this type of cool job to be on. It seems like someone even left a review, you just interview interesting people because you're not interesting yourself. I'm like, you're not fucking wrong. I'm not that interesting, but I'm also
but it works.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's conversation. I would get this off of a random person on the street. See, the thing is, when I titled the episode your name and then the job description in parentheses, it's your professional description. I can tell you right now, I'm a houseman at a hotel. That's how I would tell you it is. If I look that shit up, it's clinical supervisor of industrial and then hospitality and a bunch of 30 million things where I'm like, I don't do a fucking thing of what that says I am. And it's like I said, it's just titles, it's degrees. I mean, I've talked to people that are into just conspiracy theories that just want to shoot the shit about that. Let's just talk. It's taking the time at the min an hour to actually get to know somebody. It doesn't mean it has to turn to an argument. It doesn't have to turn into an attack. And I'm pretty sure you were hitting on it earlier. It's the default answers we all give. We choose to be depressive and all this shit all the time because that's the environment we've created as a society. We're not living in a comfortable thing anymore because everyone is on the verge of, I need to get this, I need to get that, I don't have this, I don't have that. We live in a constantly judging world. It's like, let me get you one-on-one and let me talk to you. Let me see if this is who you really are. Because I tell people, all people suck. Okay, everyone in this world sucks, but we have an aspiration to become great. What I think that sucks is the personality or the type of persona we choose to show in our everyday lives. The one that doesn't give a shit about people, the one that doesn't take the time to strike up a 15, 20-minute conversation or just wants to ignore everyone and just get their life going. I want to talk to the person where if I bring something up like music or something, it's where your eyes will light up. You'll be like, holy shit, I can go off on this. I'm like, let's do it. Show me that there is something about you that isn't just bland. You're not the Jim that works the 9 to 5. You're freaking, Jayce that does radio and gets to crowd surf and do this shit. Like, let's just talk. That's all it is.
It is so nice being able to have a normal conversation with someone where I don't have a supervisor breathing over my neck and you're just talking and you actually get to enjoy a conversation. And seriously, a lot of people start something and they don't finish. You're 3 seasons deep now, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a year.
3 seasons deep. I'm about to hit 100 episodes of the archived shows of my own. I have plenty more that I used to do that I never kept a record of. And it's like, holy crap, I'm about to hit 100. Like, the hell am I supposed to do now? And a lot of people will quit. I'm not about to quit. I'm not about to just let this slip away because I enjoy it way too much.
So tell me a little bit about your podcast. Now it's called The Shuffle. So are you the music podcaster where you just kind of play songs and kind of analyze the song as well?
A little bit, yeah. I also like to do themed things. So covers. I do a lot of covers. I do a lot of Did You Actually Know? Or there was one I just did. Did you see that video on Facebook where the guy was rapping over the Lizzo beat about food?
I have not seen that.
No? Okay. Anyway, I interviewed him. I just want to interview people, have a great time with what I do. Yes, I play a lot of music, mostly in the rock genre. I tried a top 40 show. Wasn't for me, but I still tried it because
I'll
give it a try.
That's what you like to listen to is a dominant rock. Like I like all music, much like yourself probably, but I have a fan kind of favorite towards reggae music because when I listen to it, I like the vibe. I can easily get into it even if it's not that good. That's probably the same thing with you. Rock's a little bit easier, a little bit older rock is a lot better than if you're trying to listen to rap now. It's like, oh shit. Mostly because it's the originality of the music is different.
Storytelling, the everything, the originality of the storytelling. Or then you listen to a song today and you go, wait a minute, why do I know that beat? Or why do I know this tempo so well? Why do these lyrics sound so familiar? And you realize, I wouldn't say other people biting other people's style, but I would definitely say that there's a time now that we're in where people are sharing music and, and making it better. So, who made it better when Michael Jackson did Beat It, and then Fall Out Boy did a cover of Beat It.
Well, I mean, if you listen,
more rock.
if you listen to Andre 3000's Hey Ya for Outkast, and then you listen to the acoustic version of that, it plays the song in a different light.
Yep.
That's one song you're like, whoa, does anybody actually hearing what he's saying? And he's talking about losing a relationship over a drug addiction and how, things are bad, but we've lost the love. Like, where is it now? Like, is anybody listening to what is going on? And everyone just hears, all right. And then immediately thinks, but this dude put it in such a cover form. I was listening to it. I was like, this is better than the original. It changes the fucking vibration and feeling you get from it.
Or like Leo Moracholi, who does rock covers of everything. The man has rock covers of Baby Shark, a stupid song we all have grown to hate and grown to love.
It's just listen to it once. That's it. That's all you got to do. Listen to it once.
Listen to it once. But then this man has put some kick-ass guitars under it, some nice drums behind it, just a grunge feel. It's like, God, I fucking love what music can do to people.
If you look up the Christmas songs, look up the rock version. There's a band that does Jingle Bell Rock, but in a hardcore. Dude, it changes everything. On my Christmas playlist, when I'm like downstairs opening up presents, or we're having the family downstairs, and I'll put the bonfire YouTube video on, so it looks like we're by a fire, and then I'll play music, but I'll play like DMX going, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, what? Like that whole thing, like that. I love that, and like my grandmom's like, what are you listening to?
Every time I think of DMX, I think of Cat Williams. Hey, yo, bitch. I love comedy. I love entertainment. I enjoy entertaining, which is why I think at the end of the day, I'm never going to leave radio. I'm never going to leave putting together something that somebody can sit down and listen to, whether in private, public. I just want you to have a good time. That's all I want. And that's my problem, is I'm so hung up on you having a good time and enjoying yourself that sometimes I make these huge sacrifices about, oh, this doesn't sound right to me. Scratch and start the whole thing over. And then it's a totally different show because I fucked up.
Do you find that, I guess, like have you been to other concerts, obviously, besides rock? Like, have you been to a different style of music, whether it was for your job or?
I used to work security before I got into radio, and I have done security for Billy Joel, Steven Tyler. God, now they're all. I'm losing them all. John Mellencamp, John Mayer, Tony Bennett, Garth Brooks, Jeff Dunham, and Guitar Guy.
Garth Brooks, man, that guy.
I've done security for them, and you have to stand there with you back to the concert.
How weird is Garth Brooks?
He's a little person.
I'm telling you, man, I've seen some videos with him, and one of my favorite comedians, Tom Segura, points it out. He's like, welcome to Studio G. This is Studio G. You're in Garth's studio right now. This is Garth Stadium. We're here making music. We're going to make you laugh. And I'm like, this guy's got fucking some serial killer vibe in him.
Creep.
I got the Mr. Rogers feel already.
Somehow I've always, I don't know if it's because I'll tell people honestly, so I've worked security for the Yankees for the World Series, and I was supposed to be down outside checking bags, patting people down, and one of the security supervisors came over and said, hey man, how you doing? And I went, I'd be a lot better if I felt better about myself instead of standing here, checking bags all night. He goes, you're absolutely right. And I ended up standing outside the dugout so that nobody could get in. Sometimes it's just telling people honestly, I don't like standing here doing nothing. I don't feel like I'm being valued. I don't feel like I'm providing a valuable enough service because you have 14 other people doing the same thing. Please give me a challenge. And it worked.
Do you find that, what's your worst security scenario you've ever been in at a concert? Have you ever had to throw anybody out aggressively? You ever had any situation you couldn't handle, felt like?
I didn't make the newspaper, but something I did made the newspaper. I was working security at the Garth Brooks concert, and a man slapped a woman in the face.
Oh shit! My brother works at Fishtails in Oceans, or used to work at Fishtails in Ocean City, doing a night security thing, like bouncer. Dude, that shit happens all the time. You wouldn't think people get drunk and slap somebody, and next thing you know, you got to throw somebody out. That's too real for me. I'm like, I can't.
Well, so not only did we escort the guy out, destroy his ticket so he couldn't get back in, but then he tried to attack a female supervisor.
And you beat the shit out of him, right?
No, I pepper sprayed him.
Oh,
and then
shit.
he tried to sue the stadium of where it happened.
That's why my mom would get so pissed. My brother would get a letter in the mail saying he has a jury summons because people would try and sue him for throwing. Well, my brother doesn't know how to handle aggression well, so that job was perfect for him. He was the type of guy like, this happened to me today. I'm going to make sure I can use this tonight. I'm like, you're just looking for something to go wrong. But I remember one specific incident one night. There's this big black dude that worked at Fishtails. He's around 7'4", big dude. I mean, if you called anybody like had a funny nickname like Tiny, you would call this guy Tiny. And some kid called him the N-word. And it was like a famous kid on his dad's boat or something. The dude picked him up like a teddy bear. I mean, straight up like under the arms, like a toddler to where you can't move. Lifted him up. And the dude was only like 5 feet tall and getting picked up by a 7-foot dude. I mean, a big guy. Picked him up and chucked him off the pier onto his boat. I said, dude, why did you throw him on his boat? He goes, he needed to go home. I said, good fucking answer. I agree. But that kid didn't say a single word, just drove right off. No suing, nothing. That was a big incident.
I think one of the worst experiences that I've had would be I was working at a bar, a gentleman's club, if you will. And two guys walked in. One guy was on crutches. The other guy, big guy, just wouldn't talk, wouldn't show me his ID, wouldn't do anything, wouldn't follow directions, was trying to touch the girls. And I would try to tell him, look, man, stop. Don't do that. You can't do that. And he wasn't even acknowledging that I was there. So, kindly grab a hold of his shoulder, say, come here, I got to talk to you outside for a minute. He wanted to fight me at the door. So me and the other security guys put him in handcuffs to prevent him from hurting himself or us. Turns out the man was deaf. He couldn't hear us. Right. So not only did I feel like shit about that, but then I went to Walmart later on that night after I got off work to pick up whatever. And then there was the guy on crutches. He worked at the Walmart. You motherfucker, I couldn't hear you tell me to stop. I work at Walmart. I had to get my hearing aid fixed. It turns out not about every time I walked in that Walmart, the man would put up his crutches like, please don't hit me. And I'm like, that's not the image that I wanted to give. And it wasn't even you I was going after. It was your dumb friend who wasn't listening. Well, he couldn't listen. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's the big anger management right there, where the dude assaulted a cocktail waitress when really he just tapped her on the shoulder or something. You broke a cocktail waitress's nose. That's not what happened. That guy over there was hitting me with a stick, and I tried to take away his weapon, and the dude's blind. He goes, he tried to take away my cane. I'm like, bro, the odds are not in your favor right now.
And it was one of the worst experiences I've had because I'm like, I don't want to come off as aggressive. That's not my intent here. My intent is to provide a safe environment. Your friend wasn't listening. I later found out he couldn't. And all this guy with the crutches got was that I'm just some aggressive asshole bouncer who just wants to throw people out. I'm like, that's not what I was going for, man.
It seems like when you're trying to be security or a bouncer, the problem is for a lot of people that want to be a people person, that want to just be able to talk or associate with people, because you don't want to get a bad light on you. You don't want to see the aggressive side of people. It seems like a lot more like when I was, learning a little bit more about security in my town and that whole position in that area, it seemed like a lot of the kids from school ended up being bouncers at clubs and stuff, where the athletic kind of big guys that still kind of stayed big when they left. But on the aspect of they're not really there, like the big people, the ones that are 8 feet tall or 7 feet tall that you wouldn't even think about doing anything near. You're next to them. Can I get you anything, sir? You're like, I'm security. You're like, can I get you? Do you need a drink? Do you need a cold beverage? Do you need something? It's like, why are you being so nice to me? I'm just making sure that if something happens, you don't need everybody here. That's it.
But you could kill me.
Yeah, with your bare hands if you chose to. But if like those guys, they're only there because of size. A lot of clubs hire based on how you look. the whole aesthetic appeal. You're not going to spark up outcry if there's a big dude at the front door with Hulk Hogan sized muscles sitting there. Macho Man Randy Savage. You want to play today? Nobody's going to start shit at a club. Nobody's going to do that. But when you have a small guy and he's been picked on his whole life and he's a really good fighter, I mean, now you see nowadays so many people know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's become so mainstream. A lot of people know at least a little bit or enough to defend themselves. I mean, state troopers use that just to be able to kind of, stay on top of things if they ever get into a sticky situation. The problem is when you try and be a people person and you try and put yourself in a bar scenario, it doesn't give you a lot of opportunities to be the good guy in a lot of things because you have to act quick and you have to make sure you can neutralize the threat. I think the weirdest talent that some of them have is the ability they can do where they can walk up to you. Hey man, why don't we just talk about what's going on right now? And as you're talking to them, you're trying to calm them down. They're already outside. You're not getting back in,
Yep.
bro. What? No, you're not getting back in. Sorry, man. Like just to be able to do that without you even thinking.
It's the skill of being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
Which again ties back into radio, ties back into communication, ties back into just building that rapport with people.
Now, it's crazy because at the one bar like Fishtails I was telling you about, they take fake IDs and they laminate it onto the bar stools. So I was there visiting my brother, I think dropping him off like his wallet or something. And I was like, talking to him for a minute and all I hear is this guy go, "Hey, that's my daughter." And he got up from where he was sitting and looked down at the bar stool at all the IDs and it was his daughter's fake ID. And I was like, bro, you were sitting on your daughter's face the whole fucking time.
I love it.
He was so mad. He wanted to take it with him. They're like, no, we're keeping that here. It's not happening.
That's great. I love that.
So now I've been calling you Jayce. So you gotta enlighten me on what the scenario is here, man. I have to talk about this. It's in the back of my head. It's like when you get a present for Christmas and they tell you not to open it. Like, motherfucker, I'm going to open it.
Yep. I know it's coming.
So you got to tell me, why can't I say your last name on the basis of what happened?
Well, first off, it's difficult to say. It's a mouthful.
I did it on my first try.
You did.
The only time I ever am able to do that. So that was surprising.
It's German, Schweiger. Secondly, because in Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area, my brother committed a crime. My twin brother committed a crime. And I've lost jobs, friends, acquaintances, etc., the potential to grow in a career and everything because of him.
That's bullshit.
It's bullshit, but it happens.
That's like being Marilyn Manson and everyone just knows you because you're Charles Manson's like family member. It's like,
do you believe that a court of public opinion actually exists?
I don't believe that anything's right in this world.
No, I didn't say right. I said, do you believe that it exists? Do you believe that the court of public opinion exists?
How do you mean?
Okay, so let's say today you go out and you get drunk and you run over somebody. Okay, first thing that's going to happen is you're going to be arrested. It's going to be on the news. Oh, so-and-so did this, and that, or whatever. And what's going to happen at the end of it? They have already created this opinion in the public that you are guilty. There's no chance for a trial. There's no chance for reasonable doubt. There's no chance of you actually defending yourself because everybody knows somebody that has done something in life where they were drunk and, oh, yeah, I remember doing that when I was drunk. So it sounds possible that he could have done it. Automatically, you're guilty. Doesn't make a difference if you did it or not.
They don't get the facts behind the case. I actually had a little theory. Instead of giving judges a bunch of cases per year to deal with, like, oh, they have a certain number of cases, why don't you limit the number to 10? They have to go extensively into 10 cases. It's not going to work with, obviously, our social and criminal system the way it is. But if you gave each judge a certain number of serious cases per year where they actually have months to look at both sides of the evidence. The problem is if someone pops an article onto your stand and it says drinking and driving and there was a death involved, all you're hearing is the highlighted feature of it. Death, drinking, driving. Okay, you're going to fucking jail. And
right.
Not looking anywhere into it.
Not only that, but listen how many times you listen to something on the radio or you watch something on TV and they say, Tim Jones, a Democrat from Delaware, what does his affiliation have anything to do with what he's done? It doesn't.
Well,
So
you
that's
see
the reason
that,
why I don't support politics. I
you
don't
see
follow
that.
politics at all.
I'm open to everything. Like I said, I try and stay open-minded. So I've had people come on and talk about politics. I just talk. I'm like, if you really think all your information that you get on politics is just information you're getting from somewhere, it's not your own views on things. Your views are shaped by a whole bunch of other different shit that you're interested in. So now let's look at politics. I don't like how when I go to greet somebody, the conversation goes, "Hi, my name is Jim. I'm a Democrat." Why the fuck did
Why
you
is that
just tell
important?
me? Because they want to warn you. They want to warn you. They're like,
Right.
I just want you to know what I'm about. What you're about? You can tell me you're Mormon. You can tell me you're a farmer. You can tell me you do this. I care more about that than if you're a Democrat. Well, in case you go into a conversation with me, I want to make sure you understand my basis on politics.
Right.
Well, let me tell you my basis on politics. You like what you like. I don't know anything better than anybody else. So I'm just going to talk to you like a person. I'm going to talk to you like the person I'm going to get to know you as. If you come off saying that you're not going to talk to someone because their party is different from you, what are you doing? You're following a system that's meant to be good, but it's run by corrupted people. I don't understand what you're trying to do. It seems like everybody's only out for themselves anymore. Nobody truly cares.
And not only that, but so many times it bugs the shit out of me every single time when people automatically shut down because they don't support the same idea. Yeah, but dude, we're fucking human, right? So, hi, my name is Jayce. I'm a fucking human.
Yeah.
I want a shirt that says that. I'm a human. I think that'd be a great shirt to have because nobody cares what you fucking think about politics and this and that because we're all going to keep our same idea.
I just want a tattoo on my forehead that says human. So they're like, why do you have a tattoo on your forehead that says human? And I was like, in case I forgot.
Because robot was taken.
This robot was, dude, that's going to be a thing one day. Don't joke about that. We're getting too, that's my biggest fear. My buddy's all into science and his house is lit up all Alexa controlled. And I don't go over there anymore because she controls the toilet now. And I don't like that.
Let's talk about that real quick. A lot of people fear that robots are going to take over the world and people, I got a good one for you though. People are so worried about the information that these devices have about us. But let me ask you a question. What was that device before you had it?
Exactly. It creates, see, the thing with technology is it created a problem and it's fixed the problem. So all of our complaints and problems we have in our life now are made by the thing that solves it. You're like, oh, I couldn't see, so there was light. It's like before you lit a fucking candle. You didn't
Well,
have
not
a
only
light
that, but
switch.
people are like, oh, well, my phone got hacked and all this information got out. Who put the information on the phone, dumbass? You. Oh, who took that naked selfie of you that got leaked? You. Who put all that information on Facebook of the political party you affiliate with and the demonstration that you just took part in or the riot in whatever city, state, or town? You. We didn't just think of this shit. You've posted this. You've shared it. You've said that you agree with these ideas. So this is nothing new. Quit acting so surprised when the information that you thought was going to be secret gets shared because you shared it.
Yeah, the only thing I think that I put myself out there on is my podcast. That's it. That's just recorded messages though. But like, I don't take pictures. I don't care for them. I'm just not a big glorified person who wants to take pictures of himself and put them up all over all day. I'll do something motivational. I put a 6-pack picture on Instagram just to let people know that, message me from school. Like, how do I get a body like that? I'm like, it just takes persistence, man. If you try hard enough, you can do it. I'm very positive and I show people if this isn't what it looks like 24/7. There
That's
are
what
days
episode I listened to last night. How you said it takes up to 6 months for
you to
other
see
people
results.
to see results and 8 months for other people to see it. And you're like, dude, yeah, I have a 6-pack, but I busted my fucking ass for this. And you know what? You're right.
Yeah, and I still don't even take I don't feel comfortable taking my shirt off to get in the shower just because I was bullied really bad. But, it's like I tell people, you got to put in work to get stuff out. The results will come, but if you give up on them just because they're not immediate, you're never going to see them. I mean, how many people craft out a song and that song sounds like shit? You're not always going to be pen to paper, immediately top number one hit. It's not going to happen. A lot of times, most of the time, and a lot of musicians, that's why a lot of people don't get into music that much anymore, is because of the small chance you'll actually make it. That little percentage. I looked up that number being a 0.6% of musicians that make it out of a giant basis. And I'm like, this is going to discredit anybody or belittle anybody's passion to try and pursue this any farther. But you got to have what Travis Barker and so many other famous musicians have. They're living on their couch just doing nothing but playing music all day. And their dad's like, if you don't get a job, you don't do this, you're getting the fuck out of my house because I'm not going to raise a bum. They had to go out on their own, sleep on friends' couches, and they built up that work. And then he's the drummer for Blink-182. So you get to see this unfold, that story, the amount of hard work that goes into that. And those are the bands that fucking last.
It's the things that we want are so far out of reach that people have resorted to complaining about things that you will never be able to control.
And just like tastes are different when it comes to eating something, when it comes to laughing at something, concerts are completely different. Now what I was talking kind of about earlier, I've been to a concert that wasn't a reggae concert, that wasn't a rock concert, stuff I already could kind of vibe with. The people there are different as well. You start to associate with different groups. I went to a symphony one time, only because when I was in college, I took a music appreciation class. Motherfucker was playing the triangle in this symphony, and that was my homie. They were like, Robbie, can you pay attention to the actual symphony play, like the amazing music? I'm like, it's all works of art. The dude who's blowing the trumpet looks like he's going to pass out. His face is so damn red. Everybody's playing violin, sliding really fast with that really sharp string thing that goes on top of the violin or whatever. Looks like they're going to slice the person's jugular beside them. I'm sitting there having all these thoughts, and everyone's just looking at me like, why are you thinking about all this? Like, it's just classical music. I'm like, where's the guy on the triangle? Where's my homie on the triangle? Next thing I know, yeah, all you hear is the guy, ding. I'm like, there he is.
I found him.
And I went to one, and it was a completely different environment. There was marble pillars around. The whole acoustic setup for it was just completely different. And I went to from going to a reggae concert one weekend, I saw G Love and Special Sauce. I saw Collie Buds, all these bands. And then the next week I went to a Steve Aoki concert. And I was like, oh, it's just another concert, free tickets, might as well go. I went. Holy fuck, man. That was a different thing that I felt like I went from 5 to 20 on the dial knob. Like I was like out there, and I was like, damn, because so many people, there were glow lights, there were glow in the dark, like crack sticks, those things. They had the gloves, they had the little ball that spins in the air, glows in the dark, a bunch of people dancing, a bunch of people looked like they were tripping on so many psychedelic drugs. They didn't know what was going on. People were throwing cake. It was nothing but beats. And I'm just sitting there kind of up top in the bleachers, kind of hanging out. I met an older couple, and they're like, would you like a beer? I was like, I don't drink, I'm good. And I'm just sitting there like just listening, and I'm liking some of the music. I don't know barely any of it, but I understand. It was seeing a bunch of people get passionate about something, and a bunch of people trying to express themselves in a way they felt like they couldn't do in the everyday world.
You know, it's funny how you talk about hearing a triangle in a song, and you kind of pinpoint that one exact moment so you can hear it. There's an Adele song, Hello from the Other Side, where it's almost towards the end where the key changes just a little bit, and they hit this bell, bong, and you can hear it in the song. If you go back, you listen to it. Every time I was actually in an FM radio studio and it would come on, I would turn the external speakers up just a little bit to hear that particular point. There's just, music does something to people, and it's amazing. Music is a drug. I think
it's probably one of the most beneficial drugs out there. I mean, how many times do you experience a bad day and you play a song like Man in the Box or something with like really, really kind of heart and soul to it? Even a country song, it can either uplift you or it can keep you in that vibe, but it doesn't make the feeling worse. It makes it relatable. It makes it so you can feel like you've expressed it. Like after you listen to it, like this guy fucking gets it. I don't know how many times I could, if I'm experiencing a bad day, and call me a millennial for saying this, but if I experience a bad day, I'm listening to Green Day and Jesus of Suburbia. like,
That's a good track, man.
like
I
listening to that, like, I like those Know Your Enemy, even though a little bit of their newer stuff, like, I don't know how many times, especially the covers my brother used to play, 21 Guns of all those, but listening to Boulevard of Broken Dreams and finding out, like, his song Wake Me Up When September Ends is about his father that passed away and he just wanted September to be over.
Wake Me Up When September Ends is actually about September 11th.
Are you sure it wasn't about his dad that passed away?
I'm about 80% confident.
I'm about to say, because I did a school project on that and I'm got an A on it. So I'm just hoping that I didn't get a false A, because I went really research and I read his biography too.
Now that you mention it, now I have these doubts in my head because I'm definitely going to have to look it up.
Yeah, because
I thought it was about September 11th.
His dad died like September 5th or 6th, and he ended up crying in his room and like just wanting the pain to go. He has drawings in his book where it's him, like a person like hiding behind like a low wall or something, and his shadows covering up the whole wall. And it was about he just wanted September to be over.
I would believe that. It's funny you mentioned being a millennial. Can I ask you what year you were born?
97.
97.
And you're probably a millennial too.
I was born in 88. I'm considered a millennial, and I hate the title.
Under the age of 38, you are a millennial.
Have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Micah Tyler?
I think so.
I don't know if it made him so famous, but he has a song called Gotta Love Millennials. And it's quite funny because he does it a cappella.
Ooh.
He does everything himself, and I was wondering if I can share it with you.
Go ahead, bro.
Here you go.
Ding, 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 there he sits inside your local coffee shop, sporting.
That's really good.
I love, yes, they're going to make fun of us.
Yeah, it's weird though, because I know YouTube and all that stuff, like, I know when it comes, like, you can do covers for some reason if you give them credit, but it's like, even if you like use something, they can still take it down, which I don't understand.
Okay. Understood. I'm literally, it's funny you mentioned that because I just got my 8th email this month, and we're 4 days in. My 8th email where they are trying to take down a video that plays a song, and I use it for an intro when I go live. And I have permission from the band, the label, the manager, and everybody affiliated with producing the record. I use one song. I have permission, and they keep changing the copyright holder name. First it was TuneCore. Now it's Shoutfly Productions. They keep attacking the same goddamn video.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to call you out or anything. I was just saying, because like,
right.
if you play longer than like 10 seconds, I started noticing, because I had one podcast with this local band. They're called the Swell Fellows. And it's like a couple of people I graduated high school with. And we're just shooting the shit for literally like 3 hours. And they played European throat singing, this like YouTube specific video of it. And the fucking YouTube went in there, found the video, and freaking linked it for me. I was like, thank you. But I was like, it's really weird because now their guidelines keep changing. You can't have.
It does.
It's like, how hard is it just to be able to talk? Like, are we becoming that part of hate culture where it seems like the thing, like everybody just wants to be mad at something?
Yeah, that's what it is. And I get it. You have this automation that hears music and tries to do it. But what I always keep in my back pocket is, first off, the song is incorrectly identified. It's not the right song. Secondly, that's not the band that they think it belongs to. So by default, I automatically win this argument.
Yeah, but they don't see it that way. They're like, we have the power. If we say whatever goes, goes.
And that's the funny part, though, is I keep getting these other emails because it takes 30 days for them to review something and get it to the copyright holder and either release it or keep it. And every time they release it, another one comes back through. Like, you got to be kidding me. First it was TuneCore. Now it's this. And I have permission. I have written, verbal, recorded proof, documentation, email proof, whatever, that I have permission to play this music as an intro to me going live, they don't care.
Yeah, for me, I was just like, I need to make all my shit original, mostly because I want it to be a piece of me as well, kind of an understanding. And like, it's crazy because you know how many times, like, when you try and name something and then you look it up and it's already being used, you're like, what the hell? Like, for me, I was just like, call it out of the blank. And people are like, what does that mean? Like a blank fire pistol? I'm like, I wouldn't have thought anybody would think it meant a blank fire pistol. I would have just thought out of the blank meant that's what it meant. Out of the blank, out of nothing, out of fucking my asshole if I want it to be.
Out of my asshole. I'm not sure Apple Podcasts would approve out of my asshole.
I think it would be a hit. I'd probably have a lot more ratings. A bunch of people rating it. I entered this thing and I was like, I know you did.
I entered your asshole.
I did a spinoff too for a little while back in the day, which was more narrowed down topics. And I just switched it over the name. I just called it from out of the blank. I switched it to fill in the blank. And that was
that was
the little reference point. But that's where I got a lot of shit I know about because I would tell my friends, hey, I would have other people come on and I'd be like, well, let's shoot a topic for 30 minutes. What really interests you? And my buddy's like 19th century Victorian surgery. I'm like,
what? Back when rum was considered an antibiotic.
I was like, most people would say like, I like music, I like technology, and you just come at me with 19th century Victorian surgery. He's like, yeah, that's what I like. I'm like, okay. Give me a couple days. I'm going to come back to you with some articles. I still got binders over off into the corner if I ever choose to start back up that other podcast, which I kind of want to do, mostly because everyone's got something interesting. You start to learn a lot of shit. I learned that sliced bread was banned at one point in the United States. I learned that cornflakes were invented to prevent masturbation. I learned so much shit. Yeah, and I've done the research in the podcast behind it, and I know all this stuff. My mom's like, how do you remember this shit? I'm like, I'm a human encyclopedia now. I know more government projects than Alex Jones, and it's not even conspiracy theories. They're real shit. You want to talk about that America tried to blow up the moon at one point just to test our global weapons, Project A119. You want to talk about what we did anywhere. You want to talk about some weird shit that it's in our history. It's pretty cool, but it's whatever. And it makes it awesome because when I'm in a podcast, I can bring that up. And then that also gives them something to look up. And they're like, holy shit. Like, I would never even thought. I'm like, exactly. Isn't that cool that there's these weird things in life that we just got to take the time to look for?
I'm going to do some rapid fire questions with you.
Oh, shit.
Ready?
Okay.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple? Okay.
Mostly because it's connected and I've had it so long I don't have an Android anymore.
PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Yeah, kind of figured you were going to go to that. Yeah. Favorite snack?
What are we talking here?
Snacks.
Okay. Well, what snacks can be a lot of things. What are we talking about?
It's rapid fire. Whatever you consider a snack.
I consider, I think a nice snack or a lunch would be, a nice peanut butter sandwich, mostly peanut butter because I don't know how to spread the jelly and all that shit on there right. I use a fucking steak knife, dude. When I was a kid, I used to use a steak knife to spread my stuff. The sandwich would be ravaged.
I believe it.
Is that all for rapid fire? Oh yeah, and if I was gonna choose like a chip or something, used to be Doritos, but I haven't eaten that in years.
I'm not a fan of Doritos. I'm more of a fan of like the knockoff, like Great Value, flavored brand.
Whales from Dollar Tree, the fucking knockoff of Goldfish. Oh my God. I've had dude, that's why I love Jaws. Whenever I would watch Jaws religiously every single day, and whenever Jaws would pop up like the shark, I would pause it and get a goldfish and stick it right in the opening.
I dig it. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Favorite of Coke?
Okay. Well, it depends because I never understood the taste until last year. I started actually tasting them instead of just drinking them, and I was like, "Oh shit, there's a significant difference." Coke's just easier; it's everywhere. Everyone's like, "We sell Coke products." I'm like, "Okay, can I get a water?" We sell Coke products. I'm like, "That's a fucking Coke product." Dasani owns Coke.
Yeah, I love how they're like, what do you ask them? Hey, can I have whatever, like Pepsi or Coke. And I'm like, is Monopoly money okay? Because no, garbage. I'm a Mountain Dew guy. I'm a Pepsi
Okay,
guy.
you didn't give me that. You didn't give me that one. I will choose Mountain Dew. My favorite. I've had all the flavors, but my favorite one back when I used to drink Mountain Dew. All right. So the reason I hate Doritos, I would eat a bag of those in one sitting in my high school years every day. I would eat a bag of that, and I would drink 2 liters of Mountain Dew. Then I joined the gym, and for the first 2 weeks, I sweated nothing but spicy nacho to the point I will not be able to look at a Dorito ever again.
In this cup that you see here, which ironically has Dover
Downs on it. I was going to say that.
Yeah. It has Code Red in it right now with some ice because I'm fancy.
That's my favorite one probably is Code Red, or I do like the Baja Blast. Mostly only for Taco Bell, though, because I don't like how they sold it later because then I ended up drinking it so much it wasn't the same effect anymore.
Yeah, well, I probably go through a 12-pack a day. I am a Mountain Dew-aholic.
I prefer what they have at Walmart because it's cheap. It's great value cream soda. Shout out to them. My buddy likes to joke because we always drink one in the podcast and he always mentions it. I'm like, is it a sponsor yet? I'm like, stop. It's not a sponsor. And if they want to sponsor me, fuck yeah. I'll do that one for sure.
Not a sponsor.
Hashtag let's do it, great value. Show everybody how great you really are.
Let's do it. Or the dollar store brand Check.
Check,
yeah.
I don't think
like the Mountain Dews that are called Check or Mountain Lion or something.
Oh, I like Mountain Lion, to be honest with you, but I like Mountain Dew better if I'm going to toss out that extra 30 cents. If I'm not, I like to save all my money. So when it comes to budgeting, I'm like trying to go for the cheap. I'll go to the grocery store at 4:00 in the morning, like I did this morning, and I'll get all the yellow sticker shit. I'm like, I'm getting in here. Like my grandma told me to do.
Oh yeah.
Wake my ass up early in the morning.
Grandma got you on that budget. On that budget skill.
She calls me, how much you save on groceries this week? I was like, my mom basically bought 4 different things and it was $100 and something. I bought those same exact things plus 50 other items and mine was only 40. She goes, yeah, you know how to shop, boy. I'm like, I do. I learned from you.
I gotta have you come over here. Seriously, for the last week and a half, I've been eating SpaghettiOs with meatballs.
Jesus.
Because they're delicious.
Are your insides just gone at this point?
Nope. Listen, I'm fat by choice, all right? I like the fact that I lay in bed and I don't move because I'm too lazy to go, just turn my body.
Yeah, well, hey, on my day off, I don't do shit. I put gas in the car and I'm done.
See, I have a motorcycle, so I can go quite far.
Oh,
especially in Delaware. It's 12 miles east to west and like 60 miles north to south.
Now, with SpaghettiOs, though, I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, what's your favorite snack? You saying SpaghettiOs?
No. See, because I make that a meal. I make 2 cans with some crackers in it, so it's filling. Like, I'll eat that every night.
What type of cracker?
Regular Ritz crackers that I'll just crush up over top of it.
All right on. I can deal with that. Now, what's your favorite childhood snack?
Ooh, childhood snack. I remember having bologna sandwiches.
I used to do cheese on bread, and I put pepperoni on them and put it in the microwave for 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Put that cheese down just right.
That changes the shit.
It does, man.
So do you have any types of food, I would say, that are linked to like when you're like a certain memory you have? Like if you listen, like I think when a song comes on, we all have that might be a better question to ask. When a song comes on, do you have a certain memory it can take you back into?
Not necessarily a song, but I remember my mother and my grandmother always telling me we're never going to waste food. Don't ever waste food. So if there was something that I did not eat from the night before, when
you sat down at the fucking table. Me, I would sit at 8, at 6 or 7, when we had dinner. I'd fill up on 2 chocolate milks. I'd sit down. My grandpa said, you're not getting up until you finish your vegetables. You ate the meal, but you drank the milk and you didn't eat your vegetables. 4:00 in the morning, he's going to work at the hospital. He goes, are you fucking kidding me? You're still out here? I'm like, yeah, you told me not to get up. I choose to listen, and I didn't get up.
I was forced to eat those vegetables from the night before when I woke up in the morning for school. That was my breakfast, whatever vegetables I didn't touch. So to this day, I don't eat vegetables.
That is not going to be good for you down the road, but I understand.
If it's green, like string beans, nope. Yams, nope. Looks too much like a root vegetable. Beets, nope.
What about good vegetables though? Like you gotta have
There's no
one
such
good
thing.
one. You gotta
There's
have, dude. I eat
Eat the
salads
top-
all day, bro. I'll tell
I
you.
eat tops of broccoli. As long as I can dip it in enough ranch to cover the flavor of a piece of broccoli, I'll eat a piece of broccoli.
Dude, I
only eat the top.
I used to eat nothing but honey mustard and chicken tenders. I used to get the Ken steaks, the Ken's honey mustard, the steakhouse.
Can I just say I love you?
I love you too. It's okay.
Dude, I had chicken tenders for lunch today with fries. I walked back to the restaurant. That was my workout for today. I walked back to the restaurant across the street to get 3 honey mustards because they forgot to put it in my order.
I tell them whenever I would go out to eating where I said, make sure you get extra honey mustard on my meal, please. And they said, okay, we'll make sure you do that. Eventually, I just started only looking for places that sold it at the table. My grandma would buy the big 40 giant value size, like giant ones for when she had the dinners and stuff. I would make it so it was soup. And I would do it that way. Then I got really, really high, and I ate that before I got high. I got way too baked, and I got really sick, and now I can't even look at chicken tenders the same anymore.
Oh, no, man. Nope. I'm a grown-ass boy. That's my problem. I'm a grown-ass boy.
It's fun to have
chicken
that
tenders. No, dude, that's all I eat. Chicken tenders, SpaghettiOs, Hot Pockets, pizza rolls. I'm a grown-ass boy.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's a way to live. I look at my grandfather, and he's like a child. I mean, he hides candy everywhere, and he's not allowed to eat candy.
I like him already.
He hides that shit like under like the dresser. I've talked about him before on the podcast. I need to get him on because like just talking to him, like my grandmom's a little bit hunched over, so there'll be pots and pans hanging in the kitchen. He'll tape Reese's cups inside of them so she can't see them, and then he'll like be talking to her in the kitchen if he's getting yelled at, and he'll just reach up, grab one, and like toss it in his back pocket. I'm like
him.
I'm like looking at him like this. I actually call him out on it too. He'll throw Snickers at my head or something. He'll be like, "Shut up." She knows I do it, but don't get me caught right now. I'm like, okay.
Hell yeah. Like my wife. My wife is only like 5'1.5". Right? So she plays these tricks on me while she will hide like goodies. And by goodies, I mean like cookies or like cupcakes or, little like house snacks on the top shelf of the fridge. I'm 6'1", right? I'm too lazy to bend over and see what's on the bottom, what's on the top shelf. So all I see is the bottom 3 rows where my sodas and whatever are, and all the good stuff's on the top shelf. So I do the same thing for her at Christmas, but I hide all of her Christmas shit in the top shelf of the closet, but she can't see it either.
Oh, that's a good thing. I mean, I always think when I find like a random Snickers under like a TV remote, I'm like, oh, that's just God's way of leaving me a Snickers today. And next thing you know, I hear him knock on my door. Yo, did you eat my shit? I'm like, I found it under a TV remote, so I figured it was open call. Bruh. Like you get the dead eyes and shit. Like he looks at you like I'm about to there's about to be one less kid on this earth.
Grandpa about to whoop your ass over that Snickers bar, man.
Exactly. He got the belt unwrapped and everything. I'm like, oh shit.
I remember getting the belt.
I'm like, dude, I'll pack you something else, man. I'll go buy you a pack from the Dollar Tree or something. He goes, nah, man. Nah, we don't play these games here.
That was mine.
On freaking Halloween, there is no, we get candy. We go out and get candy.
No, it's mine. Mine, all mine. I was mentioning earlier, I love the fact that you have Fallout stuff.
Yeah, dude. It explains like the personality of people, though, special, where strength, perception, endurance. Like, what do you want to do? We all like when we do my favorite games are character creations. So when you create a character, you get to see where people lack either something they have in their everyday life or something they want to be, such as putting all their categories in strength, putting all their categories in endurance. And I'm like, you have the option to do that thing. This just makes it easier. But just remember, we have this inner skill in us all.
Yep. The first 10 minutes of Skyrim almost made me cry.
Oh, yeah. Please don't bring that up right now.
I got to tell you.
I just had good night's sleep.
I spent 45 minutes building my character to look like me and giving him a really cool name. And then the first 10 minutes, not only do you go through and whatever, then they try to kill you. I cried. I'm like, I spent 45 minutes building. Oh, I'm not dead. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
I love it that you get so into character creation games that in like the first hour you're just spending on nothing but designing your character. Then you start doing the beginning and then the tutorial's over and it's like, is there anything you want to change about your character? Don't ever ask somebody that fucking option. Oh my God. You go back into that sucker. You're like, what'd you do for the first 4 hours that game came out? I fucking created my character and I beat the tutorial. Then I created my character again. Like, what'd you feel like adding stuff? Yeah, because I made a decision as I was playing the game. I realized I wanted to do it a different way.
Or like Grand Theft Auto. You know, you could Grand Theft Auto Online, you can develop your character. And people are making them look like themselves. So you have, tall, short, large, skinny. Mine looks just like me. I'm like, I don't like this guy. He looks way too much like me.
I'm telling you, imagine how difficult it would be. Like I tried this one time, just play Grand Theft Auto the whole day, but doing nothing but following the rules.
Oh, no, thank you. Nope, can't do it. Mm-mm.
Well, man, it's difficult. Like, I mean, I think it's hard to follow. I think it's easier to follow rules in everyday life than it is Grand Theft Auto.
Well, yeah, because there's something to be held accountable for.
That's true. Plus, there's like hookers right on the street. And at this point, you can just veer off at any time.
That's both life and Grand Theft Auto. You need to be a little bit more specific.
Okay, it's not right for me to do it in my life because I know there's actions behind it. But if I'm in a video game and I'm leaving the Cluckin' Bell, I'm going to go over and run over some people.
Damn right you are.
Look, I got chicken in the car. I'm trying to get home. The sidewalk looks quicker. Traffic's in front of me. There's a cop. Screw it. I'm going to hit this pedestrian real quick just to cut that corner.
You know, it's funny, though, because I saw a blue car with a white stripe going down it. And the only thing I could think of was that looks just like the Banshee in GTA 3.
Dude, I get that from video games all the time. There was one point I played Assassin's Creed so much I was running around. I swear to God, I started getting eagle vision. I could tell when hostiles were getting lit up in my area. I was like, yo, I could tell this he's yellow now, but he can get aggressive. He can get red if he wants to.
He'll turn red. He'll turn red on you.
This is funny because somebody's going to like listen to what Out of the Blank is, and they're going to skip like all the way to like the last 5 minutes. And they're like, what the fuck is happening? I'm like, that's why you can't skip. You don't know what happened.
Don't skip. Speaking of character creation, what do you think about actual creation? I'm a huge Roller Coaster Tycoon fan, or any tycoon.
Thrillville.
Biggest
influence was Thrillville. I had more PlayStation involved in my life, but as I'm older now, I've just had the same Xbox because I don't even play games that much anymore. I have my moments where I can play then after a while, I'm like, I used to get so addicted into them where I love them so much because mostly as a way to connect and play with friends. But then I'm like, yeah, now it's just like, I can't fall back into it anymore.
No. And it's difficult. It's difficult to want to have to give that up. But, you know, I was influenced by a friend of mine's grandfather to play Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I loved it. And then I got Prison Tycoon and Prison Tycoon 3. And then there was a building game on the phone. And I'm like, it's something about creation. It's not even micromanaging. I can't stand micromanaging. I won't play Sims because I don't think I should have to tell you to use the bathroom.
I like Sims because it taught me a little bit about the social skill aspect of you have that one skill down there. And if you create a sim, it's cool to fantasize when you're a kid about living off on your own and doing all these types of things, which is fun. But that social skill drains slower than the rest. And I've talked about it in the podcast. You need that social skill. I was introvert for so long, but eventually someone talks to you, you have a good chat with somebody, and it feels like they hugged your fucking soul.
I dig it.
Drains lower than the rest, but it's just a way of people using the idea and conceptualizing that you need to associate and get to know one another, which we've done, dude. And I mean, it's been amazing, dude. Seriously. Like
I've had a lot of fun.
I definitely want to have you back on again. We got to do another episode or something. And if you ever want someone to shoot the shit about music, I know more older music than I do newer. So
it will be perfect.
Well, Jayce, please give everybody your links and everything so we can be able to make sure they see your awesome content.
Sure. Jayce the Producer. That's pretty much it. I've even branded my PlayStation name as Jayce the Producer so that anytime I go live on PlayStation, it shows my name. So PlayStation Network, Facebook, YouTube,
Anchor, everything Anchor hits.
Oh yeah, everything Anchor hits. So my show is called Jayce, the Producer Presents the Shuffle, and I'm just gonna run through my syndicate real quick, just like you. Apple Podcast, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, and Stitcher. But I'm also on several FM stations: Hits 106.9, Radio Warwickshire, Radio USA, Radio Cast FM, Grey Cloud Radio, Good Talk Radio, Giant Media Empire, Juice FM, Indie Radio Network, Wolf Rock Radio, Nova Star Entertainment, Lime City Radio Network, and Star Hit 1 FM.
Well, there you go. I like it. You are on so many outlets, and it's a wonderful voice to get out there. Now, do you want to give us the broadcast exit?
Until next time.
Until the next episode of whatever we are talking about. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
No problem, dude.